Well, good evening, chat. Hopefully, the start of your week is treating you well, probably better than it's treating Jared. Poor, poor Jared. Oh, lots of developments in the story of our boy, the Pussy Slayer, the Nintendo Let's Player that has got all the chicks' panties a dropping. They call this motherfucker the slip and slide because ladies get wet when he walks by. Look at that face. That is the face of a modern day Casanova. He knows how to woo the ladies. Apparently better than most people because he's got chicks fighting over him. There have been a lot of developments that have recently occurred regarding our boy Jared. And I'd like to go over some because the girls decided they wanted to get their side of the story out by, giving people an inside look, letting people get a deep, dark look into the world of Nintendo gangbangs. I don't know how would you describe it. I don't know how many Luigi costumes and Yoshi costumes were involved, but probably some wild shit. Somebody sniffed a Yoshi egg. I'm gonna put money down that that probably happened, and we're gonna read about it. Now, where to start? Where do we start with something like this? I guess I could give a brief summation of what happened last time in case you missed that stream. ProJared, a YouTuber with over 1 million subscribers on his channel, ran into a bit of an issue when he decided to block his wife on Twitter and announce they were getting a divorce. Did not go over well, but he told people, hey, I want you to speculate to your heart's content about what's going on. I'm fine with it. Come to your own conclusions. So his wife decided to follow up by releasing a statement talking about all sorts of shit. As it turned out, he was having an affair with somebody that was, with the information that's come out, was married at the time to somebody else. We'll get into that later on, but fucking around behind her back, sending nudes to his fans, getting nudes in return. As the story kind of progressed, we found out that there were two teenagers alleging that he was sending nudes and receiving nudes from them. So lots of shit going on. Normal Boots released a statement saying they were discontinuing their business relationship with Jared based on the email sent to him by a 16-year-old, a self-identified 16-year-old. Again, this is all speculation. I don't know the people involved, so I can't tell you how accurate it is. But that started a free fall, and in the span of 24 hours, Jared went way under 1 million subs. He lost 100,000, followed quickly by the very next day loss of 50,000 subs. Not looking good. That's not what we call winning. That is the definition of getting fucked in your ass. And so Jared kind of slinked off. Nobody really heard from him. He kind of disappeared. And then, you know what? I know the perfect place to start. Let me get this queued up. We'll start it with the very first statement that he made after his, "Hey guys, just a quick update. I'm divorcing my wife on Twitter.com. Really smart move, Jared. Can't stress enough how big boy intelligence that was." Let me see if I've got this set up right. 1 second here. You know what? Good enough. Good enough. We're looking at Jared's account right now. This is the first tweet in question. There we go. From Jared. This is 2 days after his announcement. "I won't be able to make it to the descent this year, but I hope everyone attending has a great time." Good idea. Let everybody know, hey, I can't attend the event. My life is literally on fire right now. Half the internet is mocking the size of my penis. Women are talking about my sexual acts. Children have seen pictures of my joystick. Couldn't get much worse. Not going to be able to attend this year. Hope you understand. Have to turn down that RSVP invitation. He got shit on so hard in the fucking responses. Pretty great. Pretty fucking amazing. But, he needed to take a few days. Our boy needed a few days to really gather himself up to release a public statement that people could appreciate. Get his side out. He needs to be heard. So here's his real statement. This is 7 days after the, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it, I ruined my own life post. And this is his statement, just posted up. I'll read it to you. We'll see what Jared had to say on the whole fiasco. "I am deeply sorry to anyone who has seen the accusations, vitriol, or unwanted photos that my former partner Heidi and others have posted online since last Wednesday, May 8th, 2019. I find it very interesting. Let me just interject here that he specifically names the date. I feel a lawsuit coming on I feel like there's a lawsuit getting ready to be made. The way he wrote that makes me think that somebody's getting sued. The truth is that Heidi and my marriage has been in a bad place for some time, and I never wanted any of those details to become public, for both Heidi and my mental well-being. But they have, and the accusations being made now must be addressed. A few years ago, Heidi asked me if we could be in an open, polyamorous marriage. I, I recognize now this request and my willingness to go along with it was an unhealthy attempt to solve deeper issues that had developed within our marriage. Heidi has taken several casual partners and has been in a more serious relationship with another partner since 2017. Whether done to make her own actions feel justified or because she genuinely believed it would help me build self-esteem, Heidi suggested I also engage with other women. Heidi encouraged me to tell Holly that I was developing feelings for her. When I did, things changed with Heidi. She became angry and vindictive, did not want to see me or speak with Holly anymore. She called me a cheater and claimed that I was destroying our marriage because of my affair, even though she continued to have other relationships with other partners. I never wanted to destroy our marriage, and I spent months after that doing what I could to repair it through couples therapy and extensive individual therapy. Those close to me have witnessed Heidi's behavior towards me on many occasions and have begged me to leave for some time. I was many things during this time, including embarrassed, scared, and broken, but I was never the abuser. I made several attempts to leave starting in October 2018, but each time she refused to let it happen, threatening to destroy my career and to harm others if I left. Despite all of this, I tried to end things amicably. I helped Heidi find a new place to live and paid the initial deposit. I bought her a car to facilitate her independence. I formally filed for divorce on May 13th, 2019, and have instructed my attorneys to make sure she receives her fair share of... Wait a minute. He filed for divorce May 13th, 2019. His divorce announcement was May 8th. So, let me get this straight, Jared. Another part of your big-brained ideas here. You want to announce your fucking divorce before you filed for it. That's smart. I think that's a good idea. You know, nothing is smarter for a man in a situation where he's about to get divorced than giving the wife a heads up that shit's coming down. You know, I wanted to piss her off really good and then file for divorce. I thought that's how you handle things. And have instructed my attorneys to make sure she receives her fair share of what I've earned while we were together. I genuinely never wanted any of this to happen, but I finally realized that I have no other choice. Even though I've been tempted to put information out online that shows my side of the story, I don't want to further stroke the fires of what would be a private matter between us. My hope is that both of us continue to pursue therapy and come out of the unfortunate situation better people. But I want everyone to know that any other interaction I may have had with any other women were known to and encouraged by Heidi, and were had only with the purest and lawful intentions. I am sorry to everyone that I have disappointed. I realize that as a public figure, I am held to a higher standard. Dude, you do Let's Plays on YouTube. Here you review Nintendo games. Let's back it up a little bit. I realize that as a public figure, I'm held to a higher standard. I have made my share of mistakes, but I have only ever tried to do what's best for Heidi and for me. Oh, that was our boy's that was our boy's statement. He really had to think about it for a while. You know, before we even get into the good shit, I just want to say again, this guy is handicapped, okay? Divorces his wife. I don't even understand the thought process. You block her on Twitter, then announce you're getting divorced before you've even filed for divorce. Then you file for divorce a week later after she's explained to everybody that basically you can't keep your dick in your pants. I think maybe you might have miscalculated. I also think based on that statement and how factually specific it was, there's probably a lawsuit coming. Maybe it's well, you know, I don't even want to spoil it. If I even give you a hint as to what I'm thinking is going to happen, I'm going to spoil the fun stuff. And the fun stuff is coming up right next. Sadly, the last time I did one of these streams, I had a little bit of prep time. I was reading this for about an hour, but holy shit, these girls have just dumped everything. So we're going to read through it. First would be the side chick, Holly. Now Holly's got, she's got her side of the story. She wants to get it out there, get the truth heard. It's important to her. But first, before we hear about the poor state of Jared and the things that have been done to him, according to Holly, let's take a look at the let's take a look at the damage done. Oh, hold on one second. I have a perfect song to go along with this, and I think it's important.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer? Every night, I can feel my leg and my arm, even my fingers. The body I've lost. The comrades I've lost won't stop hurting. It's like they're all still there. You feel it too, don't you? I'm gonna make him give back our past.
Oh, it's real emotional. Really gets me down deep, chat. Oh, I can feel it in my soul, chat. Okay, but so we're caught up. All right, I've given you the backstory on Jared. I told you what's happened. I gave you his statement. Now it's time to get into the fun stuff. Holly has decided to release her side of the story, which is, I guess, in an effort to corroborate Jared's side. Holly, if you remember, would be the lady he was cheating with, and apparently she was cheating on her husband as well at the time. Tragically, they divorced. I guess the husband didn't want to be a cuck, but let's read through. Quite a lot of a very large statement, multiple tweets, multiple fucking 1,000 fucking tweets, but we're going to read through it. There's some good shit buried in here, and let's see who we believe out of this trio of amazing people. Who do we believe? Okay. This is from Holly's Twitter account. You can see 2 hours ago this all started. I'm just going to read from the very beginning. We're going to go through here. For the past year, I've been trying to help someone I care about leave an abusive relationship. I'm telling my story with the receipts I can legally share, with no hate and no vindictiveness. I just need to bring the truth to light regarding Heidi and Jared. These tweets are not meant to spread hate, so please don't use them to bully either of them. What I've experienced for the past 10 days, I do not wish on anyone. I encourage you to spread healing instead of hate. She wants you to spread healing, chat, like she spread her legs. I'm sorry, Holly, I gotta throw it in there. You save them from an abusive relationship by giving them blowjobs. Help! Help! Hey, internet, help! I'm in trouble. Somebody come save me. Come suck my dick. Jim's in trouble. I've not spoken out sooner because on May 9th, I checked myself into a hospital because I was having a self-harming thought. I'm not ashamed of this at all. It was the right thing to do and I was safe there. It's okay to ask for mental health help when you need it. I heard about Keemstar's coverage while in the hospital and made this in art therapy. You have to be able to laugh at some aspects of a crisis. Fun fact, while she was in lockup in the psych ward, they didn't let her have access to paints, so that is human fecal matter. She made this Keemstar sign out of poop. Doctors were very confused. Who's Keemstar? Is she hallucinating? Is she hearing voices? Does Keemstar speak in your head? Holly, look at me. We're here to help you, Holly. It's going to be okay. Before going forward, I want to make this clear that I do not approve of any influencer exchanging nudes with fans. This behavior is an abuse of power, and that is never okay. ProJared made poor decisions. That is the understatement of the century, Holly. That said, I've seen relevant receipts which prove that ProJared confirmed the consent and ages of those individuals he interacted with. These accusations have legal ramifications for all involved. And for that reason, no one can comment on them or share information publicly. I think one thing to note before we move on here, because she's bringing this up, and Jared touched on it a little bit. We'll get a picture of our boy up there. Jared touched on it a little bit in his statement when he said that he was hitting on women legally, which I think was a roundabout way of talking about this. And Holly's saying she has receipts. Well, here's the thing I find interesting. There was no direct response to the accusation by two self-proclaimed teenage girls and boys. I don't know what they are. He, she, him, hers, Hershey's, whatever you want to fucking call them. But two teenagers that said they exchanged nudes and had sexual conversations with Jared. Now, Holly's saying she's got receipts. Well, Holly, I hope for your sake they really aren't underage, because if ProJared showed you nudes of kids, you're fucked too. That's gonna make your day like 10 times worse. I don't know why you would tweet that out. Not something I would have recommended, but I'm not a lawyer. What do I know? Maybe Nick Ricade is like, fuck it, Holly. Look at all the kiddie porn you want. What are they gonna do? Get a gun. You can take them. Okay. So, but it didn't address it. Again, I say self-proclaimed, self-identified. I don't know how old these two people are. All I know is they sent emails out to Normal Boots with their accusations. And Normal Boots released a statement saying they had been looking into it and had cut and severed business ties with ProJared. Now, from my perspective, that would make me think that Normal Boots got nervous when they looked into it, and maybe they were thinking, okay, they're kids, they're teenagers, whatever. We need to cut and run. So I don't know what kind of receipts Holly has seen. I don't know if these people are like, hey, Jared, wink, wink. I know it says I'm 16, but here's my fucking driver's license, state ID, and my birth certificate. Put them next to my tits so you know I'm really what I say I am. It's just play pretend on the internet, Jared. I'm really 18. Look at my perky tits and my birth certificate. Here's my social security card. You can trust me. Please send me a picture of your joystick, Jared. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. I just want you to keep that in the back of your head as we go forward. Because that's one thing people have danced around. I've heard a lot of talk about open relationships and cucking and bull's life and all that shit. But everybody keeps wanting to just not address the whole teenagers thing. So we'll just keep it in mind as we move ahead. Anyway, she's saying, hey, don't exchange nudes. It's wrong. And I've got receipts proving that everybody was of age. This makes it difficult to speak out. Please know that I do not expect everyone to believe me, but it's not justice to treat every accusation as a conviction. Oddly enough, people can lie on the internet and omit information. P.S. If you are a consenting adult who swaps nudes with another consenting adult, then posting those nudes on the internet without consent, that's called revenge porn, which is a felony in 48 states. This plays right back into his statement. The way that was worded, his statement really makes me think he's going to sue. And now look what she's saying. Hey, if you post nudes of a spouse or a partner without their consent, if you're swapping nudes and you're posting them, it's a felony. I'm going to bet money right now Jared's going to be suing somebody or filing criminal charges on somebody. Whether that's Heidi or another person he sent dick pics to, I don't know. But don't be surprised if that happens in the next week. It seems like he and Holly are setting the groundwork for that. In early 2018, Heidi told ProJared she wanted to explore his feelings for me. She was enjoying the advantages of an open relationship, including a long-term boyfriend, and wanted Jared to do the same. You know what? I'm already... Chad, I'm confused. Maybe I misread something. Let me go back here. I am a foolish man. Maybe I misread something. But I'm noticing an inconsistency. Let me see where we are. Where are we? Maybe... I think it was earlier. Okay. Okay. So, Holly said 2017, but ProJared says 2018. Yeah, I don't know. Or I'm sorry. Holly said 2018. ProJared said 2017. That's a bit of, I don't know. Maybe it's just a small inconsistency. I don't know. We'll continue reading on. Probably reading too much into it. Let's get to the fun stuff. Okay, explore his feelings. She was enjoying the advantages of an open relationship, including a long-term boyfriend, and wanted Jared to do the same. You heard it here first, folks. Heidi wanted ProJared to have a long-term boyfriend. Anybody shocked by that? Hey, I know how they're wording it, but I'm just telling you, a man that dresses like this probably wouldn't be too offended if his spouse or significant other said, hey, we need to get you a boyfriend. We need to get you, hey, pretty girl, we need to get you a man, a lover, a stud. On February 7th, 2018, ProJared took me on a walk. Despite having Heidi's full permission to do more, all we did was talk about our feelings. Jared and I were transparent about our discussion with both Heidi and all others involved with the situation. You mean like your husband? Your husband? I don't know when ProJared started having feelings, but I didn't realize that I had them at all. Until then. It was like being pushed into ice water. I've talked about being asexual for years. I've never expected to have feelings, and it was terrifying. Even though ProJared and I had a long-standing professional and platonic relationship, Heidi never wanted us to speak again. She became extremely jealous and vindictive. Both Jared and I were scared of her. They were terrified of the cosplaying elf. Heidi was so angry, I wanted Jared to reassure me that she had consented. He sent me this screenshot. If it makes it easier for you, I will quietly go into the bedroom. You have full permission to do anything you want, and I'm fine, and will continue to be fine. Now, here's an interesting thing. They're talking about how you can't, share private. How do you know that he could have made the screenshot himself, right? I mean, it's just like women are stupid. So let's take it from the perspective of a guy looking at this. Dude is married to a woman. He wants to fuck another chick. The other chick's like, I'll suck your dick, but I need to make sure your wife won't hate me for it. And the dude's like, oh, give me a minute, man. Just give me a minute. Runs into the house and jumps on fucking Adobe Photoshop, whips this shit up, and is like, dude, look. She's like, you should totally fuck my husband. My husband, he's the best fuck you're ever going to have. And then we can go shopping together and have Thanksgiving dinner. No, totally fuck him. You've got my permission. Here it is. I'm saying it in writing. If it makes it easy, this is allegedly from Heidi. If it makes it easier for you, I will quietly go to bed without interrupting. I'm only trying to help, not upset in the least. I've actually been super productive tonight ever since talking to you. I like transparency. I'm also rooting for you. It's a very bizarre thought to think of a woman cheering you on fucking her husband. Oh, and you have my full permission to do anything you want to. P.S. If you decide to stay in the guest room, that doesn't mean you have to bang or anything. I never thought Daith and Strix would be the type to do it right away anyway. Who the fuck are Diath and Strix? They're using the code words. These are their fucking convention names. What anime are these two from, I wonder? But you know them better than me. Don't worry about me and do what works. I'm fine and will continue to be fine. Please respond if you can. I'm sorry. What? Hey, just wanted to let you know, I want you to fuck my husband. Are you there? Please, anybody? Hello? Academics? Academics, please respond. I need you to fuck my husband. It's important. Academics, please. Please straddle my husband. He needs a dicking badly. You don't know what it's like playing Nintendo games your entire life. Oof. It's everything, okay? Okay, wish you would have texted me, but good night anyway. And then there's a response, sorry, we went for a walk with lots of soul searching. Wait a minute. To reassure me that she had consented, he sent me this screenshot. Sorry, we went for a walk with lots of soul searching. Okay, so that's coming from him. I tried apologizing multiple times to Heidi. I tried gifts and words, but nothing was enough for her. I wasn't even sure what I was apologizing for. I just wanted to make her feel better and not angry. But there was nothing I could do or say. Maybe because she never wrote that. Maybe this dude did. And then you walk up to this chick and she has no idea what the fuck you're talking about. As you're like, hey, I just wanted to thank you for letting me fuck your husband. No wonder she was mad. She continued to be enraged. I conveyed to her that I was happy just to be friends and professional colleagues with Jared. Her response was a fit of rage. Later in February 2018, she called me from Jared's number and howled, I want my husband to think of me, not you, during sex. What? Oh, I just, again, if you exist on the internet in any capacity, especially if it's semi-professional, if you're making some money on YouTube, if you're a Twitch person, whatever, don't have a relationship where you put these people are insane. They're all insane. Don't publish your fucking private shit online. It's stupid. I want my husband to think of me and not you during sex. I wish there was a sound clip of that. Even though Jared and I had not been physical at all, Heidi called me from Jared's phone and screamed. I asked her what she wanted me to do, telling her I'd do anything to help her feel better. All she did was scream, "Go away! Home wrecker, go home! Get out! You get out of here! You filthy whore! I want my big dick husband, the man in the pretty dress. I want him to. This is my man. Get your own man, slut! Go away!" Oof. I hung up on her in fear and texted ProJared that he needed to leave this abusive relationship. After experiencing her wrath, I turned my concern to Jared's safety. At this point, I knew communicating with her wouldn't work. Jared and I went a long stretch of time afraid to communicate outside of our D&D game. Heidi openly fantasized about ruining our D&D show because it meant so much to us. She would use this to control him. He would send me texts when he was scared. So he's sending you all of these. So far we haven't come across one text from her to Holly. Again, let's see what it says. I'll talk to her later today. I don't want to keep seeing you suffer. Please don't do anything drastic. Because at least that would feel like less of an insult to my dignity than staying quiet and pretending nothing's wrong, which is what I've been doing for weeks. Okay, I think I would take it to blank before the general public, to be quite honest. It would be highly embarrassing and unprofessional for everyone. Like at this point, I'm fantasizing about sabotaging the game. So bear that in mind. I'm going crazy, Jared. Would be a bummer to destroy everything you've built, but it would be way more of a bummer to destroy myself by putting up with your shit. Please, allow talks to happen. You're right that this has gone on for far too long and she probably wasn't going to do shit. I'm going fucking mental, Jared. Don't make him. That's an awfully nice thing you have, Jared. Be a shame if something happened to it. Okay, where are we? I'm ready to go down with the ship, to be honest. I cannot live like this. Sorry, I can't talk on the phone right now. Sound people and trying to figure out fights and carry food. Okay, I'm falling apart, LOL. And my phone is at 16%. Cool. Fuck me. Man, I wish I could destroy dice camera action. That would feel so good. That would suck for you, but it would be really unfair. I don't know. I probably sound really cruel right now, but this is a result of weeks of suffering. I'd love to see someone who caused this situation experience a fraction of what I've been feeling. Oh, dude. Don't fuck. Let's just, we're going to give you another little bit. Let me put up the trending pic. There we go. That's from Jared's fucking nightmare earlier on. Another little piece of advice from Uncle Jimmy. Don't fuck crazy. If you stick your dick in crazy, your life's going to go down the drain. He's made a lot of bad decisions so far. One, sending pictures of your penis to anyone on the internet, that would be a big mistake. Blocking and divorcing your wife on Twitter, another big mistake. Announcing your divorce before filing for the divorce, another big mistake. And finally, fucking crazy women and letting them talk to each other while you're doing it. Ballsiest thing you could do. Totally insane. Don't know why you would ever think that's going to work out. You don't. If you're saying your wife is crazy and your side hoe is crazy and you're fucking them both and then you're letting them talk to each other, you may as well just buy a noose and kick a chair, right? Because you're fucked either way. So don't stick your dick in crazy. Not a recommended approach if you want to live a sane, happy fucking life. What a stupid motherfucker this guy is. Jared, I'd like to recommend that you go read Black Twitter. All right, I think Black Twitter can give you some sound advice for some side pussy. Yeah, they've got a good sense of humor about it, and I think maybe they could steer you in the right direction because your dumb ass is just making critical mistakes at every moment. I'm gonna let the chick I'm cheating with talk to my wife. What could go wrong? Real smart. Big brain shit coming from Jared today. Not wanting the marriage. Oh, okay. Not wanting the marriage and her control to end. Heidi constantly threatened Jared, saying that she would ruin him, publicly accuse him of being a cheater and being an abuser if he went through with the divorce. Sorry, I had to cough there. Got a little bit of a cold. Jared, I've been very patient, and I'm telling you all this instead of acting on it because I'm still exercising patience, but I need things to start happening. I know more than you ever should be, I know, more than you ever should have had to. Like, I really need it? I don't know how to make that any clearer. I am desperate. That makes me dangerous. I'm ready to start ruining all of our lives. Okay, I understand. I will try. I'm sorry I couldn't do more while I'm here, but I will do anything I can. I mean this. Has been weeks of inaction. Not a few days, but okay. I hope you can come home today, because also dangerously close to contacting her again myself. This is what I'm talking about. Again, these are alleged conversations between Jared and his wife that he has screenshotted and sent to his Sidechick, where she's basically like, hey, I'm going to fucking burn your room down. I'm going to take all your little gay Nintendo games. I'm going to fucking drive over them with our Jeep. I'm going to drive over your gay little Nintendo games with our Jeep, Jared. And then I'm going to tear my clothes off and shit in the lawn. And when the neighbors ask me why I've gone batshit insane, I'm going to tell them my husband's fucking a whore. Jared, is that what you want to come home to? Maybe you should get home. Oh, are you busy right now? Oh, I'm sorry to tell you that collectible Mario statue looks like somebody took a fucking sledgehammer to it, Jared. Don't fuck with me. I'm insane. Brilliant. This is batting 1,000. ProJared's fans witnessed Heidi's abuse. They watched Heidi scream at Jared at parties, at conventions, on planes, and in his own home. There was more than one intervention to encourage him to separate from her. They were scared for Jared's safety. Okay, hold on a second. I'm going to put this picture back up. Do either of these women look scary to you? Okay, do either of these two look like they could do any physical harm to you aside from cry and maybe tell people about your penis on Twitter.com? Aside from that, these two, you could fight them off with one arm. It'd be like some old cartoon, like a windmill punching at you as you just hold her at length. They're like 5 foot nothing. What are they gonna? She gonna use her fucking foam Nerf bow from her cosplay to attack you? He's scared for his safety. She's obviously very dangerous. She threatened to use the Master Sword from her Zelda cosplay to cut his penis off. I mean, sure, it's made of rubber, but she'd find a way to make it work. After 4 attempts to separate, involving all kinds of therapists and lawyers, Heidi only agreed to move out after she illegally obtained pictures and texts that she could use as leverage for her revenge campaign against Jared and myself. Well, shit, Holly, I guess I'm going to have to ask, if she's illegally obtaining these conversations and pictures, aren't you doing the exact same thing by posting these conversations and pictures that Jared took pictures of and gave to you? Like what do you mean? She illegally obtained them from her husband? Jared did not divorce Heidi on Twitter. Heidi made the first post regarding the relationship ending, and it was full-on false information. Jared wanted to keep this a private matter. We were terrified of Heidi based on her numerous threats and extortion. That's not true. From the very first stream, you can even see the time dates. Jared made his announcement, and 2 hours later, Heidi responded. Made the first post regarding the relationship ending. Where? That's legitimately not true, right? Am I crazy, chat? You got to help me out here. I could go digging for it, but these chicks tweet so much we'd be scrolling for like an hour. But I'm fairly certain, didn't she respond after he had blocked her and announced the divorce on Twitter? Like, what the fuck is going on? Okay. Well, I guess we can dig that up later. I don't know. There's so much to read, so bear with me. On May 7th, 2019, Heidi moved into her new home and made the following post on Facebook. Maybe this is what she's talking about. She accused Jared of cheating on and abusing her in front of all our mutual friends, family, and our professional colleagues. She was the first one to make a public statement. Okay, she's clarifying. So on Facebook, she made a statement. I recently discovered that my husband Jared has been cheating on me for many months. He lied to me extensively on many occasions, going so far as to blame me for being suspicious and making me feel like a bad person by questioning his loyalty. Turns out my gut was right. I have some extremely explicit proof. The other woman is another popular YouTuber. I think this is in line with what she said on Twitter. We don't need to reread the whole thing. It sounds very similar, but she's saying she posted this first on Facebook, Jared announced his divorce, and then Heidi followed up 2 hours later. When ProJared responded to Heidi's Facebook post neutrally, she enacted the vengeance she's been planning for a long time. She lied about not being poly and approving of the nudes. She slut-shamed me. She did not mention her long-term boyfriend or threats. A long-term boyfriend. Oof. We were walking around the con and a girl asked me for a photo. So we just did a basic pose. Then she was like, "Can it be a pairing photo?" Anyway, that made my day blank forever. Yes. Wants to watch. Okay. What is this? I'm sorry. Hold on. Wants to watch me suck your monster dong. Good morning. I don't know whose name that is, but so and so wants to watch me suck your monster. We need to have a conversation. Last time I did one of these streams, I got so many motherfuckers yelling at me. I said Jared has a small penis, and so many people got very fucking angry at me for saying that. I stand by that statement. And if these women think that he has a monster cock, give me your phone number. Because I'm apparently a fucking stallion. I don't know where these girls. This must be the first penis they've ever interacted with. Both of these innocent, snow-driven, pure virgins probably never seen a porn video. Monster dong. The amount of people out there. Oh, that's not a small dick, Jim. What are you talking about? You're all insane. This dude, this dude would be embarrassed in a junior high locker room to take his shorts off. These women, I don't know what they're talking about. If you've seen the joystick picture or the real thing, you should have a basic idea. Monster dong! Look at this motherfucker. What is going on? How is a guy that does Nintendo reviews, fucking Let's Play videos, slaying this much pussy? How is he fucking this many women and convincing them that he's got like Ron Jeremy's cock on him? I don't understand. Is it mind control? Is he like fucking Houdini? Is he hypnotist? What is it? Sorry. I needed to put that out there. I keep seeing this come up, and I don't understand it. I don't know what the fuck you people are talking about. Okay. What a coincidence. I want to watch you suck it too. I love you. I'm having a great day today. I'll call you later. Are you busy at any particular time? Blank says he wants you to show me how to fuck me. Wow. Okay. Guessing that's a dude's name. Dude says he wants you to show him how to fuck me. Maybe you could take turns passing me back and forth. How does that sound? How does that sound? No response. No response for 2 fucking hours. Now we're 4 hours later. 4 hours later. It makes me really anxious when you look at my messages but don't respond. Considering the circumstances, I need your reassurance. Sorry. I'm okay. Just in a blah mood. I'm not getting much done. I just finished the walk. I wonder what put him in a blah mood. Could it be the fact his alleged wife sent him a message saying, "Hey, the dude that's plowing my ass right now would really love for you to come by and watch his technique. Maybe you could give it a grade. He says he watches your YouTube videos, loves your review technique. How many out of 10 would you give him for his technique when he has me spread eagle on the bed and his balls are slapping against my ass? Can you critique him? Maybe we can make it like a YouTube video. Be really fun for the fans. Highly interactive. Jared, why aren't you responding? Please respond. It's been 4 hours. I'm starting to feel a little nervous here. Why is my husband upset that I want him to critique the man that's fucking me?" On Facebook, Heidi called what she did a public execution of ProJared, and it was incredibly hard for me to experience, seeing the internet rally around Jared's abuser to mercilessly harass both of us with no evidence beyond Heidi's words. It put me in a dark spot. This is from the 17th. I'm assuming this is Heidi's Facebook. I don't know. I haven't looked at her Facebook, but I don't think Holly has a reason to lie about this. One of my super irrelevant Ghost of Christmas Past ex-boyfriends watched me publicly execute Jared and still thought he had an opening to send me a lame, poetic, fake, heartfelt message. Like we were going to do or have a nostalgic reconnection. We dated when I was 17. My private response to opening the message was, "Damn, I remember this guy cheating on me too." My direct response to him was, "Through this, I learned to stop taking bullshit from condescending men. Goodbye." ProJared's friends, who knew the details of the abuse, had urged him to leave bravely, spoke out to defend him, but were quickly vaporized by the one-sided, misinformed hate machine that Heidi had activated. Meanwhile, Heidi gloated on Facebook, bragging that she'd been retweeted by Perez Hilton, joking that ProJared was now more famous than ever because of her accusations and drinking white Zinfandel. Adding insult to injury, she tried to steal his gold play button. Fantastic. I like this image of Heidi. Holly, you're doing a good job painting her as like a cartoonish Bond villain, sitting there stroking her cat, sipping on white Zinfandel with his stolen golden play button, laughing maniacally as his world burns to the ground. She's cosplaying as pure evil. I could not, for the life of me, find Jared's gold play button. That's the plaque they sent out to people who cross the 1 million subscriber threshold. I found a silver button, but not the gold one. I would have been the perfect thing to steal from him. Holy shit. Because if he asked about it, I could say, whoa, god damn, that's fucking harsh. It'd be the perfect thing to steal from him because if he asked, I could say, what million subscribers? Anyway, I guess this is my confession of innocence. I didn't steal it, but I would have if I could. I kind of suspect now that he doesn't have one because if I recall correctly, can I just say that is fucking vicious as shit? Like, I wanted to steal this award he got for hitting 1 million subs, but because I've destroyed his fucking life in the span of 24 hours, when he comes to confront me about it, I can be like, what subscribers, motherfucker? I kind of suspect now that he doesn't have one, because if I recall correctly, you have to manually request that they send one to you. Jared's always been really weird about following through on that. Even over something that should have been as exhilarating as gaining 1 million subs. Well, if it had been Mundane Matt, he'd have been on that like flies on shit. Anyway, if he didn't really follow through on requesting one, it's even more fitting that than me stealing it. Once again, falling prey to his own folly. Maybe he was too busy taking dick pics with my closet vanity lighting. I thought for a second we're getting in trouble. I thought that was a picture of his dick. It's some weird furry cosplay. Some kind of fucking, I don't know, penis mitten. I don't know what you'd call it. Perez Hilton retweeted me. I whisper in his little fuzzy ear. He doesn't give a shit. All right, let's continue going. If Heidi truly felt that she had to flee her abuser, would she ever go back to the house of the person she claims abused her? Jared paid for movers, and they'd already finished by then. Survivors typically avoid their abusers out of real fear, the way Jared has, and I have. Leaving an abuser is difficult. It takes survivors on average of 7 times to leave for good. The months ProJared tried to separate from Heidi were excruciating. I was worried about him all the time. He was broken and I was powerless, barely able to even talk to him. Beyond the satisfaction of revenge, Heidi received 100,000 new Twitter followers by publicly and falsely accusing me of ruining their marriage and labeling ProJared as an abuser. She began using the attention from the crisis to promote herself. I do believe that's true. She did gain like 100 to 110,000 subscribers on Twitter, and I think like 20,000 on YouTube. From Heidi, number 5 in the United States, baby, said I made him more famous than he's ever been before. Honestly, yeah. This is an insanely positive outcome to a horrible situation that I couldn't predict. I don't know if it'll last. I don't know if it'll last me the rest of my life or whatever, but I'm definitely going to savor it. Another one from Heidi on May 9th. I genuinely did not expect this to be my day. I figured his friends would defend him, his fans would hate me, and it would finally be over. The being over part was what I was really looking forward to. If you want a recap, you can read about it in Newsweek. For anyone worried, I'm chilling in bed with my cat. I've got some white Zinfandel, a sandwich, and a new TV. I'm going to be fine. The experience has fundamentally changed my relationship to the internet. I'm still here, still putting myself out there, but it's never going to be the same. Heartfelt thanks to everyone who didn't comment cheater and whore on my posts. Big thanks to all you tweethearts who stuck by me. You waited so patiently as I recovered and processed enough to be able to tell my side of the story. I appreciate and love you all. And those are the statements that Holly has put up. So what are we looking at? Sorry, chat, let me light a cigarette. I need a smoke after that one. Story initially breaks. So this is what I do know. Jared did block his wife. He did put up the divorce statement. Now she's showing screen caps saying that Heidi was talking about it first on Facebook. Maybe that's true. I really don't know. But I do know on Twitter she didn't respond until after the divorce announcement. All this information comes out. Now Holly's talking about why, all these people sided against Jared. Why would they do that? Because a lot of what Heidi was saying was he's interacting with his fans and sending out dick pics. And then a flood of people all started posting his dick pics. Like a bunch of women did. And I think, as bad as that looked, maybe it could have been shuffled around a little bit. But then you had people that were claiming to be 16 and 15 years old that were hanging out on his secret Tumblrs, blogs, and other fucking websites, saying that they were exchanging nudes with him and that he was cool with it. That, I think, was like the point of no return. I think once people saw, teenagers accusing him of it, things really went tits up for him. And I think all these women coming forward and showing all these dick pics of our boy here, the one that you all, for whatever reason, keep saying has a monster dick. You're all insane, by the way. That's when things went south. Now, Holly's response to all of that is, their marriage was bad for years. For years, it was terrible. Jared was uncomfortable. He was unhappy. He didn't want to be in the marriage anymore. Apparently, he was the cuck initially, with Heidi having other long-term relationships and trying to get him to be into other long-term relationships. Had casual, I guess, fuck buddies, had a long-term boyfriend on the side. Tried to convince him to do it. Said, go fuck Holly for whatever reason. Holly and Jared started up a relationship. And then Heidi got very jealous and very fucking angry. And it went into a crazy spiral where Jared finally just called it off and announced publicly he was going to get a divorce. And all this shit behind the scenes, all these messages she's claiming are real, which, again, I'd like to state, are screen caps that Jared sent her. If she's talking, here's what I find weird, Holly. Like, if you're talking to Heidi, then you two have each other's phone numbers. You're texting to each other too, right? Put up some text of you two talking, not shit Jared sent you. But that's an aside. So who's cucking who? Like, who's the cuck here? Somebody's getting cucked. Somebody's doing the cucking. Was it Heidi initially cucking Jared? Did Jared secretly cuck Heidi and make up fake messages to convince Holly to fuck him? This is like some kind of daytime soap opera. How could you not want to follow this shit? What is going on? Why are you people doing this publicly? That's probably a really good question, I think. Terrible decision to put out your sex lives and your relationships online. Everybody's going to laugh at it, regardless of which direction it's going to go. Yes, now what do we do? I see you, Chad. I see you exploding. Everybody's screwing Jim. Gotta go check out Heidi's. I'm planning on it. Let's go do that now. Apparently Heidi's throwing up, I'm guessing, her side of the story, so let's take a look at it. Oh, there's a lot of stuff going on here. So let me scroll down and see where this is all starting. It looks like she's got it. Goddamn. I wish you girls would make YouTube videos so it's easier to digest all this shit. And yes, Chad, I see you. There's a lot of super chats. I will get to them at the end of the stream. But we've got a lot to dig through. So let's go take a look at Heidi's Twitter and see what her side of it is. We've heard Jared's. Well, we've heard Heidi's, and we've heard Jared's, and we've heard Holly's. And now Heidi's got a response. So let's go read it. Let's see what we got. I'm going to say it starts about here. As far as my supposed long-term boyfriend goes, she's assuming a lot. During the time Jared and I explored polyamory, I was long-distance messaging someone in another state. I ended that myself when I told Jared that I needed to ask him for monogamy after he'd broken my trust. Okay, all right, here. I'm sorry, Chad. Let's do it from here. Okay, Holly's Twitter thread is full of lies. She's exaggerating and twisting details and taking Jared's word on a lot of stuff and running with it. Excuse me. But most importantly, the heart of her argument is, I was just trying to help my friend leave his wife by having sex with him. As far as I can tell, the whole point of these posts is to make me look bad. She's not adding clarity to her decisions to secretly sleep with a married man. She's just saying, look how awful his wife was. And then she goes into I had a boyfriend across state lines. I wanted to leave that person out of this because it's super irrelevant. I took steps to be fully transparent with Jared, make sure he knew he was always my first priority, and that he could expect the truth from me. I never had anything to hide from Jared, period. Nothing I found on Jared's phone was illegally obtained. My lawyer, I told you guys. I told you this is going to get crazy legal. Where are we? My lawyer assured me of that. It's community property, purchased during our marriage, unlocked in the house. I picked it up, discovered horrifically explicit proof of their ongoing affair that they were lying about. They want to catch me on technicalities. Oh, you shouldn't have looked. I'm grateful I looked. If I hadn't looked, I would have left the marriage crushed, but the belief that what Jerry and Holly said about me is true. It's all their excuse for fucking. I never pretended to be blameless. What I did say is that I made every effort to communicate with Jared and correct my mistakes. During the time he was intensely gaslighting me, lying to me and giving me the silent treatment every time I tried to have an earnest conversation. What Holly saw, and the rest of Jared's friends saw, was my frustration boiling over after days, weeks, months of silent treatment and neglect from Jared. He broadcast my frustrations and acted like they came from nowhere to support his narrative that I'm a bad person. And that's exactly what Holly's doing right now. She's open up talking about how good her intentions are, then devolves into rambling mess about how I'm a terrible person, and that's the whole point. She's justifying her behavior with a smear campaign. Take that as you will. And I think she has some more responses. Let me see what we got here. All I want to get out of this, or all I want is to get away from these awful people and the reach of their social influence. I held my tongue about all of this until Jared started publicly gaslighting me with his initial divorce statement. He isn't entitled to secrecy for cheating on me. Neither is his mistress. I want to go back to posting cosplay and art. That's what I've been doing. The only reason I ever deviated from that was to defend myself from my abusers' public lies. They've been focused on discrediting me. I'm focused on breaking free and starting over. This was my first ever initial attempt to be supportive. I discovered that they were not capable of being honest with me in spite of my unwavering support. That was deeply hurtful, so I stopped trusting them and asked it to stop. She's distracting you. Can you elaborate on this conversation? Oh, well, there's your confirmation. I thought maybe those were fake messages Jared made up, but she's confirming they are in fact real. So what Holly posted on her timeline is legit. This was after the aftermath of that night, when I tried to be supportive and they ignored me for hours. I went to bed sobbing, thinking Jared was hooking up with her without ever acknowledging me. Hey Heidi, I'm so sorry for all the lost sleep and upsetting shit that happened this weekend. I want to apologize in any way I can for any shittiness I brought to you. I get so scared that you hate me, because you're so nice and pretty. Oh God. You're like so nice and pretty. And like I totes don't want you to be upset at me because I'm fucking your husband. And I know that's stupid, but that's why I was afraid to talk. And I know Jared has told you everything, so you know how fucked up I am. LOL. This says it's from Holly, I guess. I'm also sorry I didn't say bye, and I hope we can still talk more and still be friends. Can we? You know what's really important to me here? That we remain friends. Like, look, okay, I fucked your husband. I get it. A little bit upsetting, but if our friendship can survive me fucking your husband, I think we're on solid ground. Hey, Holly, I don't know if Jared told you this, but probably the only. It went somewhere else out there. Here's more, I guess, from Holly. I approached him earlier that day and insisted that he finally address the tension growing between you two because it was incredibly obvious to me, and I was tired of playing dumb, being treated like I'm stupid. I intentionally stayed out of the way, gave you space to let things play out. I've been so open and supportive to Jared about all of this, and in return he has lied, denied, and left me hanging for hours without a word of acknowledgement. I literally don't know how I could have been any more accepting, and felt like he spat in my face about that. Every conversation I've had with him about this has been because I brought it up at breakfast when neither of you could bring yourselves to acknowledge what was going on to me, even though we are clearly new. I thought that was incredibly cowardly of both of you. It's not my responsibility to address your actions. I was left feeling like, is this how you are treating me in the face of unwavering support? How can I ever trust you to be straight with me? I know. It was an accident that you forgot the phones, but it resulted in one of the most emotionally eviscerating experiences I've ever had, and nothing can change that. I went through this alone. I'm glad you weren't fucking without telling me, but I haven't been able to shake the raw betrayal. I'm really sorry. If there's anything I can do for you, please tell me. All I want is transparency and honesty from you both. I'm going to need a lot more of than what either of you have given me so far. And you're right. I know that's what's happening now, and that's made... I think we have one more here. And you're right. I know that's what's happening now, and that's made it a lot easier for me to process, and honestly, that's because you had bigger balls than either of us. and I'm just completely lacking in emotional experience. Anything you want to talk about or ask me, please do. I'll tell you whatever. I literally didn't know what any of this shit was until now. I'm so sorry it took me so long. Ugh. Okay. I make of that what you will. I think we can follow along who's talking to who, but they both have names with H in them, so I don't know who's talking to who on that specifically. I'm now in a position where the fact that I tried to embrace the idea of them being together is being used against me. Holly and Jared hurt me deeply. They both knew exactly how I felt about polyamory in the end. I asked them to stop and followed suit by ending my own relationship. They're scrambling to make it look like they had my permission to be together, or that I somehow am a hypocrite doing this or during the same time. No, I was straightforward with my expectations and gave Jared the same respect. I honored him above all others. A response to somebody, the "I got scared you'd hate me because you're so nice and pretty" comment has haunted me since Holly sent it to me. I'm not so responsible for the insecurity she projects onto me. Being nice or pretty does not make someone hateful. I think that is, those are all the responses. I've been coping with humor. Okay. Looks like there's a few more here. When I asked him for clarification on how I was hurting him so that I could take a good hard look at myself and improve, he couldn't give me a straight answer beyond, "You make me anxious." And finally, I was trying hard to take the action to address my own behavior. That's been my focus the entire time. I believe in that. Having him tell me, "You just make me anxious," in spite of my great efforts to be loving, devastated me. That is a lot to digest. All right, Chad. I've talked for an hour now. Let me see what Chad thinks. Chad, you tell what the fuck is going on here. All these open relationships, polyamory, people cucking each other. He said, she said, everybody's in an extra relationship. It always ends in tears, doesn't it? Can you name an open relationship that doesn't blow up like this at some point? The internet just makes it 100 times more public. Yes, chat. This is a Kojima. This is a Kojima idea. It's a plot for the next Metal Gear. Lots of shit going on. Let's see. Maybe Holly responded with something. We'll take a quick look at that. But I think that brings us up to speed. I'm trying to make sure I rate everything and give them both their fair shake. Seeing a lot of people in chat saying degeneracy. Perhaps, chat. I don't know. This is a really bizarre fucking story. That it became so public, that it was handled so publicly, I think was a massive mistake. Second only, as far as mistakes go, to being in an open relationship. I don't know who fucking suggested it first. It sounds like Heidi. But terrible decision. You can't take your sacred vows with one another and then start fucking other people and not expect that everything is going to go tits up. People have a real hard time dealing with the emotional baggage and jealousy of watching the person they're married to having sex with somebody else. You both are idiots for even trying it. Now, as far as Holly goes, you were married at the time, weren't you? So like you're blowing up two relationships. You're blowing up your own relationship and you're blowing up their relationship. And I'm just going to leave the name of the guy you were married to out of this because I feel bad for him. I think everybody does. When this came out and everybody was talking about it and putting together timelines, they felt bad for him because he seems like such a nice guy. But fuck if I know. Who knows what conversations are going on behind the scenes? Maybe this whole group of people. It's like a cock carousel. Everybody's just taking once around. Let's everybody have a ride. What are you guys doing? Terrible decision making at every step. Chat, he got cucked. Some people are saying vengeance. Other people saying Holly is a tard. Getting some F's in here. Hopefully my stream didn't just go down. Not sure what's going on. F for degeneracy. I see. There we go. Well, we're caught up. As the internet turns, I thought was a fitting title because, again, this is like a fucking soap opera. I'm sure it'll keep expanding. I will say this. These are my predictions. I think Jared's going to sue somebody or report somebody to the police. I think that I don't know who that's going to be. If he's going to go after Heidi, his ex-wife, it just feels like it feels like everybody's starting to talk in a legal manner. She's talking to a lawyer. He's talking to a lawyer. He's putting up statements that are worded in a way that makes me think somebody's getting sued. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happens in the next week or two. That somebody's getting a visit by the cops. That somebody's getting not a summons, but a civil suit slapped on them. Who knows? I think more DMs will leak. I mean, here's my suggestion as the guy that's sitting back laughing at this ridiculous shit. For what it's worth, Holly and Heidi, in for a penny, in for a pound, right? Like, I mean, if you're going to do it, go balls deep. And I mean really balls deep, not Jared balls deep where it's like 2 inches in. I'm talking like the full foot-long fucking. If you're going to start dropping DMs, drop them all. Just go nuclear with it, girls. We'll read them. And we'll all read them. And then we'll tell you whose side we believe. But fuck it, what do you have to lose? You should all just take your phones right now, download every text message conversation you've had, and post it on Twitter for our amusement. I think, chat, do you agree with me on that? Should they do that? I think that's a smart decision. I think that's the decision that they should be doing. Yeah, chat's agreeing with me. At least that's what I'm telling myself. I'm saying that's what they're going for. A lot of JonTron ones in there. I see a chat. Boy, he's been. I wonder what his reaction to this is. You know, I will say there are a lot of people on the sidelines that seem to have, or would seem to have, a reason to speak out about this, because maybe they've been wronged in the past, but have been very adult about it. I think JonTron's one of them. Hasn't really taken any shots. It seems like a nice guy, doesn't he, Jared? Boy, JonTron seems like a really nice guy, huh? Yeah, seeing a lot of people saying, just do it. Maximum donging. Heidi Holly, I think it's time for the maximum dong. You need to just upload all of this shit. I bet you Keemstar would love it. I mean, he made him a sign, Holly. All right, and he appreciates that sign. I think you should send him every text message. Just fuck it. Just go for it. And Heidi, you can send all yours to me. And then Keem and I can compare notes. That's how we can handle it. Okay. Well, I hope you've all enjoyed this. Again, even regardless of how you view the exact outcome of what these people are doing, I guess I could, at the very least, I could say you could use it as an example of what not to do in your relationship. I would think that, you just take it as that. Even if you can't come to a solid conclusion on who you would blame, particularly for this happening, just look at the situation and take away some key points. Don't have an open relationship. It's the kiss of death. Nobody is mature enough to handle their partner fucking somebody else. I don't buy it. I don't think it's real. You will always be fucked up about it, and you will never stop thinking about it. And I bet you that was the entire time. Their relationship probably fell apart because of that. Because every time you look at your loved one, you're going to think, is the other person fucking them better? Does he have a bigger dick? Does she have a tighter pussy? That thought's always going to be in your head, and it's never going to go away. Did you come as hard with them as you do with me? Oh, what a quick way to kill a marriage. Just don't do it. And for the love of God, don't divorce people on social media. Horrible fucking decision as well. I think you shouldn't probably be doing that. Would be my suggestion for you. A terrible decision, but what do I know? Let me update this. I know people have work and school in the morning. We've gone over the majority of this. I'm going to read the super chats now. Not a bad little stream. Just keeping everybody up to date on what the fuck is going on. Let me just update this so people know if they pop in. Some people like the super chats, some people don't. Try to keep them in one section so you don't have to listen to them if you don't want to. I'm going to start reading them, responding. Continue the stream till we're done with them. But for everybody else that just wanted to hear a quick update, there's your update in the first hour. I went over it. I hope it was entertaining for you as it was for me. What is it? What does she call it? Maximum dong? Oh, girls, you need to start dating other men if that's a maximum dong for you. Jesus.